What is happening, y'all? We are back at it again with another video. Today it's called I Am Broke. What do I do in business? What business do I start by Alex Harmozi. So we'll see how good this video is. And let's go.
You don't know what business to start, by the end of this video, you will know what business to start, who you're going to serve, how you're going to serve them, and the exact message to send to get your first 5 customers. I'm a co-owner of School.com, where we help tens of thousands of new people every single month start their first business online. And right now, 1 out of 2 people who start a paid community-owned school make their first dollar. 1 out of 2. This process I'm going to show you works. So there's 5 parts of this framework and then 2 bonuses. One is that's advanced and one that'll give you next steps on what to do with this so you can make your first dollar. So it starts with the what, which is what is your business actually going to be about? And so I use something called the 3 Ps framework. All right, so you can write this down, the 3 Ps. And that's because almost all businesses get born of one of these 3 Ps. And the first is pain. So it's something that you went through personally and
How much pain are you willing to sacrifice? How much pain are you willing to do before you do the thing? How much pain you're willing to understand about what you need to start, what you need to do, what you need to act. And the pain is, what are you willing to sacrifice now to get within later on in life?
overcome. So a friend of mine has a wife, well, they're married, and they have 9 kids. And so in her going through this process, she was like, well, what would work for me? And I'm like, well, you have 9 kids. So I'll bet you that you just making lunch for 9 kids every day is probably a process. She's like, oh yeah, I have this whole thing that I do so I organize it so everybody has their own bags and they all know who it is. And then I can do it in a time that's cheap for me and gets them all the food that, all the protein and all the other stuff. And she's like, I have a system around that. And I was like, that is the beginning of a business. The second is your profession, meaning what you do for a day job or what you've done in the past. I've recently made a video about a lady who quit her job as a registered dietitian at a hospital and then started teaching other registered dietitians how to bill insurance. And the reason that she learned how to do that was at the hospital, she had to work 6 days a week and work 12 plus hours per day as an RD. And so she only had one.
Whatever your profession is, you can do, you can do that for the rest of your life, as long as you enjoy it and as long as you are wanting to as long as you want to get better within that profession. And as long as you want to get better, you can do with whatever you want now. So don't waste your time, don't waste your energy on pointless things.
Day a week that she could bill her personal clients on the side. And so she had to figure out this really complex billing system and how to do it really quickly. And so she took something that she learned from her profession and made a business around something really, really narrow. And so a lot of people think that it's got to be this big, crazy thing. If you solve one very specific problem for somebody, that is a business. And you might think, oh, well, how am I going to get a huge following from all that? This particular individual has 5,800 people who follow her on Instagram, and she takes home almost $1 million a year in income. And so if you're an accountant, or you do HR, or you edit videos, or you do whatever, like every single job that exists in a business means that fundamentally people exchange money for the skill you have. And so any professional skill that you do in a business, you can do as a consultant or as an independent contractor or teaching other people in that profession. There's lots of tree branches that come off of that, but this is the second big category that businesses are born from. The third bucket of P's is passion. These are the things that you're all.
What are you passionate for? What are you passionate about? What are you passionate thing is? Whatever it is passion. And through this passion, you can make money off of it as long as you make it worthwhile and worth the value of whatever it is you're passionate for. So, for me, I'm passionate for giving people my advice. Well, that's just me personally. I'm passionate for making things on my own, even when nobody is there to give me advice.
Interested in. These are the articles you read, these are the YouTube videos you watch, these are the podcasts that you listen to in your spare time. It's the
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store preloaded with
stuff that you're just inherently interested in. That
E-commerce is fake. It's fake. E-commerce ain't real. School is real. That's the only thing that I know is real.
can't get enough of. And so for me personally, I was somebody who was into fitness. It was what I was reading. I was reading Nation, which none of you guys have even heard of, but it was this online that had all of the lifters in there and all these trainers and coaches that were talking about stuff. And every night I would eat my meal and I would read whatever the new Nation articles were. And I did that every single night. And that's what my passion was. And when I went to work, the guys that I worked with are like, dude, if you don't start a gym, like they offered to front me the money to start the gym because I was so obsessed with fitness at the time. And so if you're like, okay, well, I overcame food allergies, or I am an accountant, or I'm into painting model cars, got it, but how am I going to turn that into a business? Don't worry, that's what I'm covering in step 5. So let me break this belief for you really quickly, that you need to get the perfect pick on the first try. The reason this isn't accurate is that it assumes that you, with zero context, having not talked to customers and gotten zero feedback, are going to pick it right. The reality of it is that picking anything is the first step because that begins the iteration process of feedback so that you can get it right. So the 5-step process I'm going to walk you through is going to get you to your best bad idea as fast as possible. And the reason we say best bad idea is that we want to get it out there so that we can make it less wrong over time. And if you keep making a bad idea less wrong, eventually it becomes a good idea. And then people say, how did you pick that right on the first shot? And you will smile and know that that's not actually how it worked. So great. If you have your first P, you say, I know what pain it is or what profession or what passion. Now we move on to step 2, which is the who. So who are you going to do this what for? There's 3 categories that the who's are going to fit into. The first is people like you. The second is people that you have helped before, and that can be for money or not for money, but I'm assuming if you're watching this video that you haven't helped them for money, you just did it as a favor, which...
How have you helped people before? Advice, criticism, belief, whatever it is that you have helped people before, you can make money off of that. And through that, you can help people by doing what you are doing now. Which, whatever it is that you are doing, you can help people by making content on that so-called thing. The only reason why I post these videos is because these are the videos that I really enjoy making, and these are the videos that I really enjoy talking about because I know I could talk about it for a long time. So, number 1, the person that is like you because you know that you can be like them and you can help them, and whoever you have helped before.
I'll tell you my story about that in a second. And the third is people who you think are underserved. Now, this is probably the more formal way that people look at markets that are growing, that you think there's an emerging trend. It's people that have this huge demand and they're underserved. This is probably the most formal way of doing it. But most businesses that come from, I would say, the heart or the mind come from one of these 2 things. It's, I went through this thing and then I took a long time to figure it out. And now that I
went through this thing and it took me a long time to figure it out. Whatever it is, advice, whatever it is, you can build a business around that. And through that business, you can make tens of thousands of dollars within that business, as long as it makes it good and you know what you are posting. That's the only thing that ends up as being a good thing.
I want to help other people who are like me figure it out. Sarah Blakely was like, man, none of these underwear hide the bad and show the good. And so then she created Spanx. And then Spanx went on to sell for $1 billion to Blackstone, I think earlier last year. And so you can absolutely build a massive business just trying to solve a very personal problem to yourself. Differently, Zuck started in his dorm room to make some sort of platform for horny college kids that eventually would become Facebook. Or for me specifically, the reason I made my first dollar, the first actual dollar that I ever made, was there was a lady at the gym and she came to me and said, "Hey, can you help me with my food?" And it was just because I looked in shape. And I was like, "Sure." And like, I didn't know her super well. And so we met at a pizza shop, ironically. And so she asked me to talk to her about her food. And so I just asked her what she was buying for her groceries. If you're doing $1 million or more a year and you'd like to get to 10 million or 100 million groceries, and gave her a couple of recipes that I did to increase her protein intake. And at the end of me sitting at that pizza parlor with her for like an hour and a half, she just took out her purse and wrote on a check $100 and she handed it to me. I didn't sell her, I didn't say a price, she just handed me $100 for the amount of help that I'd given her. And it was really weird because we walked out of the pizza parlor and then she got in her car and I like opened up the check again and I was like, holy shit, I could get paid to do this? And it was this huge moment for me. And forever, always grateful, Sandy Smith. So once you figured out whether someone like you, someone you've helped before, or an underserved market, you pick one of these three things and then you plug them into this, which is a call out. So the call out describes
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
the person back to them. This is gonna be important for what we use in one of the later parts of this. That's why if I had to pick one for you, I would have it be this one. Because you already know what it's like to have the pains of this person. You're usually in the demographic, you're in the age.
When you know the demographic, when you know the persistence, when you know the pain that you went through, that is how you know that you can make money. And if you have nobody that is in your business making you money, then you don't know what is working for the business. And through this business, you may never know what can work until people actually pay for it, which is why I'm keeping my school completely free for the next 2 months, everything. So if you're curious, go take a look at it. If you're not curious, I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, hopefully you guys learned something, and hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from. Peace.